How you doing, baseball fans? Welcome to tonight's stream. The Astros take Game 2. Solid pitching from Framber Valdez. A timely homer from Alex Bregman. And the Yankees and Astros head back to New York with the Yankees down 2-0 in this series. How we doing, everyone? Good evening. Good evening. Seeing some people trickle on in here to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well. We are almost at the weekend. I am quite excited. I didn't even realize tomorrow was Friday. I feel that much better now knowing that I get to go to sleep tonight and wake up in the morning knowing I have the weekend ahead of me. I thought it was like Tuesday or something. I don't even know what day it is. It's been too much baseball lately. But we are here, everyone. Thank you for stopping by tonight. Hey, you know, another close game tonight. Another close game. The Astros once again showing why this team is just so good. They're just so good. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, you get one key hit, one key home run from Alex Bregman, and that's all you needed. The pitching has been phenomenal. You're thinking maybe coming into this series, maybe the Yankees could take advantage of some things. Maybe, you know, they've seen these guys before this season. You know, maybe the Yankees, you know, maybe that offense was getting a little hot, maybe a little bit just coming into this series, and maybe they could find ways to get some runs across the board, and they have just really struggled so far. You know, against Cleveland, they did struggle as well, but we saw the bats come alive a little bit in those last couple of games, and unfortunately, with Houston's pitching, it is just this is a whole different ball game that now, no pun intended. But the Yankees going back to New York, down 2-0 in this series, and again, the Astros just showing why they are the best team in the American League and why they had the best record in the American League. This team is no joke, and the Yankees are finding that out the hard way. But before I do get started, I have thoughts on tonight's games, maybe even a rant or two. I mean, I got some things to say about this Yankee team, man. I got some things to say. But before I do get started, if anyone is new, think about hitting that subscribe button for me. We're trying to get to 27K by the end of the World Series, so help us out. Hit that subscribe button. Everyone, hitting that like button is really going to help us. YouTube, it likes the like button more than ever, so please hit that like button for me. Hit the bell notification. Hit the share button for me. Share the stream. Go share it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Go to your grandma's house. Let her know we are live. Also, we are partners with SeatGeek. Use my code HYDE, $20 off your first purchase. Basketball season is underway. Football season has been underway now for a few weeks. Hey, I mean, we got 4 teams left in the playoffs. If you want to go check out a game, definitely use my code. Carlos Correa. Is that Carlos Correa on the set right now? What the heck is going on right now? Is that Carlos Correa? That is Carlos Correa. What the heck is going on right now? Carlos Correa has joined the set for TBS to discuss the game. My goodness. Use my code HYDE for $20 off. Don't forget, we are partners with Prize Picks over here. You get a 100% deposit match if you use my code GINGER. Alrighty, everyone. Let's get to it here. Yeah, you know, overall, it was a pretty good game. I mean, it's a close game. I mean, what else could you ask for? Good pitching matchup. Runs very limited tonight. It had a couple of, you know, big moments there. Aaron Judge, it looked like maybe he was this close to getting a go-ahead home run there, and then it just ran out of juice there in the end. You could have had a completely different ball game at that point. It just goes to show that almost that out from Judge, that near home run right there, that just seems to kind of just, what is the word I'm looking for here? That moment pretty much just told you everything about this series so far. The Yankees, they've stayed in it, but they're just this far away, right? It just seems like they're just a step behind. They're not quite there. And that right there, I feel like just gave you an idea of how this series has been so far for the Yankees. And, I mean, my goodness, you were that close to a 4-3 lead for the Yankees. But, hey, Houston, this team is tough, man. This team is tough. But let's get to it here. Let's just break this down really quick. So, looking at the box score, obviously you can see a close game here. 3-2 final. Houston with the 8 hits. The Yankees, you know, not a lot of offense. They made some changes to the lineup tonight. Someone must have been listening to the stream last night because I said, hey, Harrison Bader, you got to put this guy in the leadoff spot. And they did. And, hey, I feel like it ended up being a pretty decent move. If you take a look here, Bader getting the hit there. I mean, overall, when it comes to a guy that's giving you energy in this lineup right now, Harrison Bader is that guy. So I think you got to stick with this guy in the leadoff spot. Judge. Again, Judge, I feel like, the Yankees, I felt like they rode his bat for so long, but a key for the Yankees coming into this postseason that I had for them was who else was going to step up in this lineup. I mean, you had some other guys against Cleveland come through with some timely hits, but you're not really having, besides Bader, you're not really having another guy come through for you in this lineup really at all. So I don't know. Someone is going to have to wake up in New York. I mean, Judge himself is going to have to wake up. I mean, what happened? I know Judge has had a couple of home runs in this postseason so far, but we need to see more from him. I feel like the Yankees right now, they're just either hitting a home run or they're just taking advantage of, we had the error there. That's how they got the 2 runs across in the 4th. You had the throwing error from Valdez that was able to advance the runners over. And then you had the ground out from Rizzo. And then you had Gleyber Torres beating it out at first to score the other run. But that was pretty much it. Without that error, would they have even scored anything? I don't know. But obviously the big hit tonight was from Alex Bregman. I mean, they put together a nice little rally there in the 3rd. If we were to go here to the 3rd inning. You had Maldonado get hit by the pitch. Jeremy Pena got on. Alvarez beat out a grounder there, and that was able to put, you had the 2 runners on, and then Bregman coming through in a big way, and that made it 3-0. And that was pretty much the kiss of death for the Yankees at that point. It was pretty much over at that point. It felt like the air kind of just came out of the Yankees at that point. And they battled. They answered with a couple of runs there in the 4th, and you thought, okay, maybe the Yankees got something here, but it just felt like so many times the Yankees, they just could not take advantage. I mean, just a lot of strikeouts. Once again, another night full of strikeouts for the Yankees. 13 overall. They were actually doing okay there in the beginning. They were limiting the strikeouts early on, but, as Valdez got settled in, it was just, you couldn't do anything against the guy. Abreu came in. You had Presley come in. He had 3 strikeouts of his own, getting the save. I mean, you couldn't do anything against this pitching. I got to give it up for Severino. Besides the home run to Bregman, I thought stuff-wise, he looked really good tonight. Had good life on his fastball. Had some good bite on the off-speed pitches as well. I really liked how Severino looked. Unfortunately, he just left one right over the plate for Bregman to just come through in a big way. But Valdez, obviously the star of the show tonight. That curveball just looked so nasty from Valdez. If we go take a look here, tons of curveballs from Valdez tonight, which the Yankees are a good curveball hitting team. At least they had been all season. When it comes to Framber Valdez's curveball, I mean, let's actually go take a look here. Let's see, where did his curveball rank among pitchers this year? If we go take a look here, when it comes to this breakdown, he threw it 28% of the time. And if we take a look at the run value of his curveball, a negative 11 run value. It's one of the best curveballs in the game. It looked really nice tonight. Just had great movement to it. Surprisingly enough, the spin rate was actually down on it, but I felt like it looked really nice. It was a really nice looking curveball tonight, and the Yankees were just swinging out of their shoes. Speaking of swinging out of your shoes, Gleyber Torres, what are you trying to do up there? Are you trying to just hit a moonshot to Jupiter? Holy crap, Gleyber Torres. Man, this guy, I just feel like he is just trying to hit tanks. I mean, I don't know what this guy has to do, man, but I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm getting off track here. But Valdez looked fantastic tonight. Once he settled in, he had that error in the 4th, and he did give up the 2 runs. You're thinking oh, okay, could this be where maybe Valdez falls apart here? But he kept it together, and you got to give him a lot of credit. He made great pitches. Everything was looking nice. Everything was looking crisp. And in the end, Valdez was the star of the show. And then Abreu coming in after him. If I were to talk about one thing here, Giancarlo Stanton, man, what are we doing? Listen, I'm not a pro by any means. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and, say I can go in that batter's box and go do any better than Giancarlo Stanton. But what are we doing? You have a 3-1 count in the, or not the 7th, the 8th. 3-1 count there. And you had the runner on second, right? So, and that, I'm going to actually go to that. How did he get the runner on from second there? That was, Someone had a double, right? Oh, no, that was the Judge. That was the Judge near home run. And also give it up for Harrison Bader as well, because on the Aaron Judge fly out, which it was this close to being a home run, Harrison Bader with heads up base running and just getting the second. You gotta love that from Bader, man. And this is why I really like the Yankees getting him. Without Bader tonight, who the heck knows, if they even come that close. I love what he's doing for this team. Obviously, this Yankee team, they're not looking great right now, but Bader has been a bright spot. I really have enjoyed what he's brought to this Yankee team. But Giancarlo Stanton, back to him. You had a 3-1 count. Abreu, I understand. This guy's throwing gas. He's throwing some nasty stuff. But he throws you 2 fastballs, and Stanton just watches it. It's like, what are you doing? The old saying goes, 3-2 count, you got to protect. He's throwing. It's like, what are you looking for? Swing at anything close. I mean, my goodness, especially if you're Giancarlo Stanton, you're a guy that can just hit moonshots. And you're just watching 2 straight fastballs go by. I don't know. It's like, what is going on here? Like, is this like a game plan thing? Is this Stanton just getting in his head? I don't know what it is, but it's, I don't know, man. That was huge. I thought maybe the Yankees, that was their huge chance right there to tie it. I mean, you obviously had the huge chance with Judge, but it just felt like the Yankees, it feels like everything they do, it's just not enough. It's just, it just feels like this Astros team is just that much better than this Yankee team. Like, this Yankee team, like, when you look at the score, it's like, obviously the Astros, let's be real here, without Valdez tonight, if you got any less of a pitching performance, the Yankees are in this game, and they could win. They could leave this game a winner. The Astros, offensively, they had the 8 hits, but they had a lot of runners left on. They got into some double plays. The Astros offense as a whole really did not look amazing tonight. Sure, you got some hits here, but the big blow was from Bregman. But when you're that good of a team, sometimes that's all you need, especially with how good this pitching staff has been. I'm going to give a lot of credit here to the Astros coaching staff, to the pitching coach, really getting these guys ready, having a good game plan coming in. They're just toying with this Yankee lineup, and they're making them look extremely foolish right now. But man, I'm trying to think. What was the last thing I said? Oh, Stanton. Again, you're just I don't know. That was just crazy to me. How you just saw, I get it. It's 99 miles an hour on the corner. That is absolutely nasty. But you got to protect. You got to choke up on the bat. You got to protect that strike zone a little bit, especially when you're someone like Stanton with one swing of the bat can change a game. I don't know. I thought that was very costly. One guy that I felt like did not help out the Yankees, and this was a guy who, I don't know. You can go either way here. I feel like Yankee fans are going to be a little bit more negative towards him. Josh Donaldson, he had the double early on. He had the walk there in the 9th. You had LeCastro pinch run with Carpenter pinch hitting for Higashioka. Didn't really do anything. I'll get to Carpenter here in just a second. But Donaldson, a couple of key strikeouts here. With Donaldson, you had a couple of moments. I'm trying to see. What were the innings with Donaldson? Oh, yeah, that was after the... You had the Yankees in the 4th, after they put together a bit of a rally there, you had Donaldson and Higashioka strike out. When you could have done some more. Donaldson, we got to do something here. I don't know, like, he's batting 6th in this lineup. I think you got to move him down. I feel like, I don't know. It just feels like he is just not really bringing you a lot of confidence. Sure, he was able to work the walk there at the end, but he was looking really foolish in some of those at-bats. He just looked so out in front on a lot of pitches. He just seemed like he was lost. He can't, again, he had a double and a walk. It's like, overall, it's not a bad game for him, but just key strikeouts are killing this team. Buzzkill strikeouts. He's not helping out when they need him to. Sure, he came through with a couple of good things tonight, but it's not helping them in key spots. Another thing I want to talk about, this Yankees lineup, right? So if we take a look here, let me actually go back to game 1. This is like where, the Yankees, it just feels like they're a step behind, like it just feels like they have all this talent. They've made all these moves. They've made all these signings, these trades, But it just feels like, it's like, why is this team not winning? You know, they have a good lineup here. You got good offensive players. You have good pitching. You have these guys in the bullpen that you can turn to. But why are they just not coming through when they need to? Well, I was kind of taking a look yesterday against Verlander, right? The Yankees total overall saw 160 pitches yesterday. And tonight they saw 142. They started being a little more patient at the plate later in the game, but they were being a lot more aggressive early on. You know, you could see they were swinging at first pitches. They were going for it against Valdez. But I have seen this time and time and time again. When you have a ground ball pitcher, every time you try to be aggressive against a ground ball pitcher, you're going to lose. It's just, I feel like I've seen it a million times with my Red Sox. You try to just get him off his game early on, but ground ball pitchers, it's like they love when you're aggressive because they want you to just be hitting, they want you to be swinging. They want you to be hitting those balls into the ground. And it just felt like that's what they should have done yesterday against Verlander. Verlander was looking a little shaky, and they were being too passive with the guy. They were just taking pitches when they could have been swinging. I don't know. It's just like so backwards with this team. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, I'm just seeing that. I don't know. It just feels like, you know, they tried to do the approach that they should have had yesterday. They should have come out swinging against Verlander yesterday. They should have just tried to make a statement early on. Verlander did not have it in the beginning. Once he settled in, you couldn't hit the guy. But with Valdez, that's not the approach that you take. Another reason with Verlander, the guy doesn't walk guys. He has a 1.5 walk per 9 rate this year. 1.5 per 9. He doesn't walk guys, but you're being passive against him. Tonight, with Valdez, he walks 3 per 9 this season. And that's when you should be a little more passive. You know, work the counts a little bit more. I don't know, the Yankees just seem a step behind all the time. I can't really seem to understand. They make the adjustments, but it always just seems to be a game too late. It always just seems to be too little too late. I don't know. As a Yankee fan, I can understand why you're frustrated. I don't know. That's just that's something I was noticing. One thing I did like about tonight, Peraza defensively looked pretty good. Felt like he was bringing some energy to this team. He was making some good plays. Listen, I've been on the Oswald Peraza bandwagon since the beginning of the season. I was the one saying, hey, why not this guy for your shortstop? You know? He was a guy that played some good defense. He had some speed. I felt like he would have been a good option for the Yankees. They ended up getting Kiner Falefa, which I thought was fine. That's another guy. Could you possibly have him? You know, he's been able to make... I don't know. It depends on how you think. Do you like Donaldson or Kiner Falefa? You know, what's going to be the better option? I guess you could go either way. But with Kiner Falefa, I feel like he's been able to make some more contact. He hasn't been striking out as much as Donaldson. Could you turn to him possibly? I don't know. But they're probably going to stick with Donaldson, I would imagine. Could you move him down in the lineup? I could honestly see Boone and them just keeping him in that spot just to let him kind of try and heat up. You know, again, he got the double today. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe he's starting to turn it around a little bit. Maybe we could end up seeing a pretty good game out of him in Game 3. But yeah, Peraza, you know, I felt like he was bringing some energy to this team tonight. Gleyber Torres was playing decent defensively. That's another one. You know, it feels like the Yankees are always a step behind. Gleyber Torres, they had him playing shortstop for so long. Everyone knew this guy was not a good shortstop, but they stuck with him and stuck with him and stuck with him and stuck with him last year. And they finally realized, like, oh, okay, this guy's not a shortstop. Everyone in the world knew that Gleyber Torres was not a shortstop. Just look at the numbers. Look at the eyes. You know, use the eye test. He was not good. And it took them that long to figure out that he was a better defensive second baseman. And he's playing good defense at second base on the big stage. You know, Peraza looking good out there. Sure, with Peraza, you need to, you know, maybe start waking up with the bat. He's not really doing anything there, but I will say it felt like he was giving some energy there. You know, there's not really much else left to say. You know, it's pretty much this Yankees team. It just feels like they're just not good enough. They're not good enough against this Astros team. They're too good. They're too much of a championship winning team. You know, the Astros, one thing I will say, they have a chip on their shoulder. You know, people have been ragging on the Astros. You know, they made the World Series last year. They wanted to win that one. You know they did. After everything, you know, granted, you know, deserved. I will say this too. You know, kind of in a way, I don't want to say defending them, but let's be real. I've been saying this on my streams for a little bit now. Everyone was doing something with the cheating. I've been saying this now for a long time. I had a great comment on one of the streams from a couple nights ago. So many teams were cheating. Even players were saying it too. Like, you know, if you think they're the only team that was doing something, you're wrong. But for the Astros, they really want to win. They really want to win this championship, man. And you can just see it. Like, these guys are just playing great baseball. They get one big home run from Bregman, and that's all you got. The rest of the offense couldn't do anything. But you pitched well. You played well in the field. That's why they're just so tough, because one department of their team could be lagging that day, but then the other parts of their team step up, right? And with the Yankees, it feels like everyone is trying to step up, but it just feels like it's not good enough. You know, I don't know. That's just kind of what I got right now in my head. I mean, I'm looking over my notes here. I don't know. I just think in the end, this Yankees organization, I mean, I've been saying this for a while. It just, no matter who you sign, no matter who you trade for, no matter what, you know, diamond in the rough, you know, signing that you can make, like a Matt Carpenter, it just feels like it's not enough, you know? And I don't know. I just feel like this organization, I think it's an organizational thing. You know, it's funny because I'm saying this, they're in the championship series. That's not like that's not an easy thing to get to. You know, for you to be one of the last two teams in your league, that's an accomplishment. But this Yankee team, it's World Series or bust every single year. It's hard to get to a World Series, you know? But I feel like with the Yankees at this point, it just feels like it's time and time and time again, every year. And I think, I've said this now, it's an organizational thing. I just feel like the right people are not being put in the right positions. I'm not talking about the players. I'm talking about coaching staff. I'm talking about people in the analytical department. I'm talking about all those people that you don't see on the field. You know, I feel like it just feels like the right people are not being put in the right spots. You know, that's just what I'm thinking with this Yankee organization. I don't know, because you have like a game plan that you should have used in the last game, and the game plan you used in the last game you should have used tonight. I don't know, I don't know, man. It's just a weird team. They should be winning games and they're not, and they're just exposing themselves, you know. And I'm gonna say this too: the Astros, yeah, you won this one tonight, but the Yankees, man, oh man, they had chances, and the Astros, give them all the credit. They came through when it mattered with the pitching. But it just, I don't know what, like this Yankee team, I just feel like if they had just a more consistent, dialed in approach, I feel like this team would just be so much better. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know anything. But everyone, that's pretty much all I got. There's not really a whole lot else to talk about. Again, I would say my player of the game, you got to go with Framber Valdez for tonight. The guy pitched a beauty. He looked fantastic, especially after Verlander pitched so well. I mean, you're cruising into Yankee Stadium now. You know, this is how you want to be if you're going to Yankee Stadium. It's going to be a raucous crowd. You got Garrett Cole in Game 3. I'm guessing for the Astros, is it going to be Christian Javier? Or Lance McCullers Jr.? Oh, yeah, it's going to be Lance McCullers Jr., it looks like. So, I mean, obviously on paper, Garrett Cole, you know, name-wise, yeah, I mean, I think especially with how he's been pitching, he's looked pretty good this postseason. So, I think you got to give the edge, especially at home in Game 3. You got to win. If you're the Yankees, you have to win Game 3. To me, it feels like this series is so close to being over. Like, it's not over just yet. but it almost feels like it's over. You know, even if they win this game, it just feels like the Yankees, the Astros are beating them, but the Yankees are beating themselves, if that makes sense. And when you combine those two, it just doesn't feel like you're going to win this series, you know? Those are just my thoughts, but the Yankees, they have to win game 3, but the Astros, they're just looking too good, man. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if the Yankees, they go in there and the Astros go in there, they take game 3. I mean, why not? They're winning games with barely, you know, really getting a whole ton of offense, you know? I mean, if you could go back to game 1, you know, you won tonight 3-2. You know, you came through with some timely hits last night, you know, in the 6th and the 7th, you know? It's not like they're pounding runs across the board. So I'm just saying, I almost feel like this Astros team could end up just sweeping this series. They just seem that good. And when the Yankees are just making these mistakes and they're just not going at it with the right approach and they're just beating themselves in a lot of ways, it's just kind of hard to see how they're going to beat this Astros team. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. But everyone, I'm going to get out of here. That's really all I got for tonight. You know, just kind of, you know, that's pretty much it. What else? I mean, I wish there was another game. We got the Phillies and the Padres tomorrow. Let's actually go over that one real quick. So you got Musgrove and Suarez. I talked about this last night. This is a big one. I feel like this is going to be a back and forth series. Obviously, the winner of this one can definitely dictate how the rest of it goes. You got to give the edge to Musgrove. Suarez, he hasn't really been able to go too deep into games. Musgrove, he's looked good this postseason. So I will give the edge to the Padres. But obviously the Phillies and that crowd, they're going to be raucous at home. You know, it can go either way. I do like Musgrove and the Padres in this one for tomorrow. And, you know, for game 3, I mean, I got to go Yankees in that one. I mean, especially when you got your ace on the mound. But then again, I could honestly just see the Astros just sweeping the series at this point. I don't know. So, everyone, I'm going to get out of here. So tomorrow, this game is on at 7:30. So that'll be the only game for tomorrow. So, most likely I'll be live tomorrow night as well. But everyone, I'm going to get out of here. I just want to thank you for stopping by quickly with me tonight and hearing what my potato brain has to say. Everyone, on your way out, if you can, please hit that like button for me. Anyone that's still new, think about subscribing down below. Hit the bell notification. Hit the share button. Don't forget, we're partners with SeatGeek here. Use my code HYDE. You get $20 off your first purchase. And with Prize Picks, use my code GINGER, and you'll get a 100% deposit match. Everyone, I'm going to get out of here. Have yourself a good rest of the night. I'll see you all tomorrow night to talk some Padres and Phillies. But that's it. And have yourself a good night. I'll talk to you next time.